Hello everybody, what's going on? This is Zero and welcome back to the Pixelite server. So, as you can tell from behind me, there is a big mess going on. That's right, we have opened up our village procreation cell again because well, to be honest, we need some villagers to finish up our automating farming. And I'd like to take a shot at getting the best trades back. I'm very ashamed to see what had happened before in the previous couple episodes, and I'd like to get the best traders back. Also, I think that it is important also that we set up an additional iron golem farm, and I'd like to put one possibly in this location once we're done with the village breeder, and we'll move this village breeder to an elsewhere location. So I'm a little concerned though. I'm wondering, I made some adjustments here, and I noticed that if we were covering up the blocks aside what's above the village breeding cell, that these doors on the iron farm were not getting the daylight check, first ground check for the houses surrounding the perimeter of the iron golem farm. And so I got rid of all these blocks around here, and I went ahead and started this up, but I'm wondering if there's any sort of interference between these two. Now, to my belief, there is a 34 block radius check around each village that essentially allows them to work work independently of one another. And this is, down there is 196, and up here I believe is 249. So, well, let's see, 49. So 52 blocks away from each other. 53 blocks away from each other. So that's well out of the 34 radius of each other. So I'm wondering what there might be an issue. I haven't seen any iron golems spawn down there. However, what I did notice is that this farm was working prior to me restarting this automated villager farm. And what happened prior to this is that I had built this over that, and it seems that this takes priority. I'm wondering if that's something to do with the y-axis. What's our higher on the y-axis? Anyways, yeah, this thing's already working. We've already fired out another villager. I'm gonna go ahead and find a way to disable this my piston mechanism here for the baby wanderer trap. Sounds really terrible, but yeah, I need to find a way to disable this so that way we can force the villagers to stay in the cell. I could obviously just destroy this and it wouldn't be an issue, but I feel like that takes away from the actual automation portion. Well guys, it would appear that there's some sort of conflict with the iron farm and this farm up here, and for some reason this one receives priority over the lower farm. I'm wondering if it has something to do with the y coordinates. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm going to go with for now. My goodness. My goodness. Well, we're on our way to check out Mr. Puddles' base. Him and I have decided that we're going to build some duping portals. Now, I know that they may be frowned upon in the current era, but they are a very viable source of concrete, sand, and gravel. And we find it probably best in our interest to use this duping entity for the time being, because I'm pretty sure this will be fixed as soon as possible. Anyway, we're going to go check out Mr. Puddles' base. I haven't seen it in a long time. Last I checked, there was a little box. Alright, so it's got a... Is this it? No? Huh. Did you have minecarts out here? Does not look like it. Do I need to bring a minecart? Well, I guess we're doing the old-fashioned way. Alright, wow! Wow! Not bad, not bad. I see we've duped ourselves some dragon eggs. Interesting. Oh my goodness, what is this? Oh, that's right. He told me he was actually working on his own super junk, which is, I feel moved. So one of the first things we have to do in order to get our duping capabilities ready is to make ourselves a broken end frame. And I bet he didn't bring any more, but oh, he did. Let's see it. Oh, you silly. Alright, I went ahead and set up shop, and I have my redstone chest, my slime blocks, and my waste block chest. I think that's what it is. Oh no, it's my concrete chest, soon to be concrete chest. But I wanted to maintain the entrance from the nether to the end portal. I thought this was a really cool entryway, and I want to continue to build onto it, make some more out of it. But this is where we're going to break our end frame. We're going to break this side, and the far side over here, and keep this side intact. So let's go ahead and power up this mushroom. Oh, yeah, I gotta break these a little more. Now there might be a slight issue with the height. It might be able to expand beyond the height of the end portal because I don't have a block above it, but let's give it a shot. Nope, worked out perfectly. Awesome. Alright, so I went with a very rudimentary design. I had my own design in mind, and I'm going to go probably refine that later, but right now I'm using a design by Ray Works. I'll go ahead and link his channel in the description box. But yeah, here's the design. Essentially just creates a endless inversion clock back here on this switch, which is right here with the inversion torch, and it'll loop itself over and over again. In theory, this should make these blocks turn into falling entity blocks and pull them through. I'm just going to go ahead and start with some basic gravel, sand, and anvil. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. Alright, the anvil failed immediately, which is kind of to be expected. Alright, and this should be running indefinitely, so let me go ahead and head on through the end portal. And I'm not sure if the chunk is unloaded, but we are getting quite a bit of sand and gravel, so I wanted to pick that up. Is anything else coming through? Alright, we're going to fire it back up. Now I'll go ahead and hang out here for a little bit and see if it just takes some time for it to run the overworld and the chunks are unloading when I go to the end. And if that's the case, then we have to make sure this chunk stays loaded continuously while we're in a different dimension. Okay, so it would appear that yes, in fact, this duping method is working. Wow, working pretty well. So the good news, after returning back from the end and getting here, we are still functioning. So this is good. This is a good thing. So you might be asking yourself, sir, why exactly are you duping all this stuff? Well, it's not for profit. I'll make sure to give out all the kind for you I can for free. What I want to do is use this for building blocks, and I would like to start my own shop. Now that's something I really haven't done too much in the server, especially like any community participation, aside from a handful of community events. But yeah, I'd like to build my own shop, and what I want to do is build a slime shop. And to do so, I thought it'd be really cool to use every type of green block I can get my hands on to build kind of a slime swamp monster shop. I think it'd be really cool. So something we found out pretty interesting is that Puddles has his duping machine running, and I don't exactly have the coordinates of it exactly, but it is spawning his chunk or his blocks right here. And for some reason, my blocks seem to fall over in this area. And oh, very interesting. It actually resets it every time someone logs into here. So something else I'm going to test real quick is that if we place anything beneath this obsidian slab, if they will also be removed from the game in the case that somebody logs into the end. Okay, so it just came back into the end and found out that these do not get unloaded. So what we can do is go ahead and make a minecart hopper and have it run around the base of this and pick items up from above the obsidian. I'm not necessarily sure if that is a updated fix or not in the snapshot, so let's find out. So what appears to be working not very efficiently is using a set of, and I say set, I mean 4 hopper minecarts run below. We'll do a single line set and see if that makes it any better, but we're having an issue with basically all of our suspended drops are coming into this corner right here, and we're not able to pick them all up because of the minecarts moving too erratically and not getting enough material at any given point. So one of the issues we're running into is actually having this chunk stay loaded with the 5x5 platform being maintained. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and place this named chicken into a boat, put them up on a piston, and keep this chunk loaded the entire time, and possibly this level, that will allow us to manipulate this area without having to worry about it when we load back in, if it's going to erase all the blocks that we have in place. Now if we can just get this guy, oh, there he goes. Alright, and we'll go ahead and place him just right over on our piston. So this is pretty interesting. We went ahead and placed a whole bunch of torches down to test out this theory, and I'm not sure if this is working as intended, but the light updates are still here. As you see, we're getting a light level of 14, 13 in this area with 0 sky. Obviously we have an overhead surface, And we did place a bunch of torches here, so very interesting. I'm not sure why that would be, because before it was a lower light level. See back here, it's got 8 and 7, 6. So the next theory we tried out, and it seems to be working out very well, even with the inconvenience of the one block falling to the center and disrupting our water flow. It appears that we can actually line this area up with hoppers, and it redirects the flow just enough so we can line up this area. This is awesome. So the next thing we do is we're going to get some packed ice in here, and we're going to create ourselves a nice little logistic system to have it all sorted out, and it is going to be delicious. Well, we were short on packed ice, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that. And Puddles is clearing out the chunks around the end platform, and turns out that our end platform is actually split between 2 chunks, so it makes it a little on the difficult side to make sure that everything goes smoothly and stays loaded, but I guess that's just a part of it. We can actually hook up a couple hopper dispensers to make sure everything stays loaded. Alright, so check it out. This is the design that we had come up with thus far. It seems to be working very, very efficiently. But the problem is that you have this, every once in a while you have a block that forms in the center. Sometimes it turns into a concrete block, or it'll be an anvil, which, you know, there's really nothing you can do about that, but the rest of these gets pushed down into 2 separate tiers. So it gets pushed down to here, pushed down into these right angle flows, and then those get pushed down into a centering lane, and then those will all get directed down into here. So one of the awesome discoveries that we just made is that when we are creating these sorting systems, I've been doing it in the cross pattern. So essentially, you'll have a comparator here, you know, redstone over here, redstone down a block, and then your repeater activates the inversion torch on the other side. The problem is that if you had overflow, or if something was like, if you had an abundance of certain resources inside one of the hoppers, it would carry the redstone signal over and would unload all of our hoppers. So that's something that I've kind of been dealing with for a while now in my other sorting system, and I realize now that it's such a simple concept. I don't know why I never noticed it before. So yeah, it's really cool that we caught that. And all basically we need to do now is just coat this everything up, as some people say, dust it up, and this will be good to go. Pro tip. If you go ahead, drop 4 of those eggs in there, because that's what we're going to use as our filter blocks. I'm just going to label them all X. Now, this might be a bug in the current snapshot. I haven't checked out the other versions. But if I can go ahead and just keep renaming these, you'll notice that there's no anvil sound except when I do the last one. And you'll also notice that it only took 1 level away from me as compared to taking 4 levels away from me because I did 4 blocks. Pretty cool. I'm sure that'll get fixed at some point. I think it might be a bug in just a snapshot. Again, I haven't checked out it in the other versions. Alright, so next thing on the list is that we went ahead and made a whole lot of blue and white, but I haven't made the rest of the different types of concrete. And I believe there's 16 out there, so we have 2 out of 16, so that leaves us with 14 to go. So I'm going to go ahead and make the light blue, the cyan, and pretty much every color that I have available to me. So it seems for the most part that we are pretty much completed with this build, and everything is running into the end. The issue I'm running into is that through my ender portal in our super chunk, it seems that it just decides randomly where it wants to drop the concrete blocks or anything from our duping mechanism. So like, they landed over here originally, and this was the center, and then they landed over here, and I'm going to test out and see if this works. But it seems that Mr. Puddles' base has no problem. It always drops directly in the center. So that is something I'm going to have to investigate further. That could be something that somebody else could probably tell me about. That's maybe has a little more information regarding the algorithm that decides the spawning point. Anyway, I'm going to go head back to the base, test it out, and we're going to see if these are going to line up now. If not, well, at least we have one functioning base that can do it properly. Yes, this just absolutely boggles my mind. It seems no matter where we place our block or our water sources, the determined location is constantly moving. And the only one that's consistent is Mr. Puddles' base. So, well, we'll have to figure something out later. Perhaps there's something that I don't know. But, yeah. Good times. Also, another addition worth noting is that these being left on to run while we change dimensions, it converts them all to white concrete powder. Interesting. Alright, so the entire premise of this episode is about to happen. I'm going to do a little bit of terraforming first, get this all knocked out right in this area. I went up and crafted a whole bunch of black concrete, so this should make for a nice base for the shop. Like I said, I want to go for a bit of a swamp thing, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture on my other monitor and kind of just get some ideas of what I want to do. but I definitely want to get this like this round feel, kind of to occupy this corner right here. Alright, so I've got kind of the base structure going on right now. It's a big face, pretty scary. And Marine Squirrel just joined in. He's one of our newest members. Yo. Yeah, so this is the kind of the base of what I'm going with. It's kind of like a sad skull. Not very happy looking. And what we'll be doing for the next step, though, is creating our rocket shop. I know there's another shop in the making. That might be next episode, though. But this episode, we're going to do the slime shop. And he's going to be the sad slime monster swamp thing skull. So, I think one of the more difficult parts is finding a way to implement your product into your build. And I think we're going to go with maybe like a slime crown for the slime swamp guy. I'm guessing. Maybe. Let's take a look at it. Well, first, let's get rid of these waste blocks. Yeah, I could use a little more work on the edges, but yeah, you guys can see this is kind of come along. He's getting a little more meaner looking. I went ahead and broke some of the nose down, gave him kind of a hatchet nose. Give him a bit of a hatchet nose so it came straight down. Left that area blank, and threw a couple of the quartz stairs away all over the place, and yeah, they look pretty cool. They look, I think they kind of look like some nice jaggedy teeth. So I think we got a good shop front coming. So, first time laying some of these down, and I'm under the impression that you do need an even build to do it. So, can I go ahead and add some slime blocks here? And that's a 3 by, no, that's not going to work. But if I go ahead and knock this guy out, so that's going to be a 4 by 4. So this should work now. Now, I don't know if these are directional. Do I get to place them in a certain, like facing a certain direction, or will it work out if I just place them like you know, like a normal multi-block would work? Because it's looking like they're facing different directions. Oh, too short. Okay, so nothing happened. It just looks like a big mess. So I'm guessing these are directional. All right, so take 2. I think I got it. So it is a directional dependent block, which is pretty cool. So you can actually make your own designs if you'd like. I mean, obviously you have a very limited selection, but you can make them. I think you can make this probably work in a uneven design, an odd design. So next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and encase everything with some green stained glass. Kind of keep that pristine, like this is like very important underneath the floor. I think it looks a little on the uppity side, which is gives it a nice little look to it. Very bright though. I wonder what happens if we went with just a regular stained glass. I don't think it looks much better. But it does look interesting, which I do like. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep running with this. Kind of mix and match the different types of stained glass here, and finish up the flooring. So this is what we have so far. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of these concrete blocks. They have their uses, but for this particular build, we wanted a little more of the detail portion, and I kind of wanted to, do a random placing of different types of blocks that shared similar qualities and colors and detail texture. And it seems that the concrete blocks are just very solid, very solid blocks, which isn't a bad thing, but I just don't think they have a place in this build. However, I really don't care. I'm gonna go ahead and get some leaves and kind of terracraft this a little bit, and hopefully that will help it blend a little better. Alright guys, so to finish today's episode up, we are complete with our slime shop. It is not exactly what I thought it was going to turn out to be. I knew I was going for like a slime monster, but I ended up making some sort of slime-esque skull. I'm not complaining. I don't mind it. It looks alright. It looks pretty cool. Inside, we have some pretty simple concepts. I didn't mind going with the simplicity sake of this, since it's just a shop, and I'm not really in the need to, have some trust factors here. It's all Scout Center sort of thing. But anyway, slime balls at 1 stack of diamonds, and slime blocks at 3 diamonds per stack. And I don't think that's a very good trade, but I think it's very generous. And again, I got a farm for this, so basically we're paying for convenience. People can come by, pick up some slime blocks if they need them, and I'm also doing some equivalent exchange. 1 diamond is equal to 5 redstone blocks, so they can go put redstone blocks in here instead of putting diamonds in. Totally cool with either one. Don't really have a high need for diamonds. I don't really use them. They're just kind of a useless blue block. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to press that subscribe button. And if you really liked it, like really liked it, don't forget there's a little bell on the subscribe button. You can press that and you'll get a notification every time I upload something. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.